Hi everyone, my name is Vince Gelman. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. I'm very honored to bring this topic to you today, to bring you the wisdom of white bat medicine and why this medicine is so important right now in our world, why we need it collectively. And one of the reasons why I'm creating this video now is because I'm leading a ceremony this Saturday, the 7th, May 7th at 3 p.m. Pacific, called White Bat Medicine Healing and Activation. It's an online ceremony. You can actually attend even if you can't make it on Zoom. You can get the healing and activation. You can receive this medicine even if you can't make it on Zoom. But I wanted to give you an idea of why this medicine is so needed, why I'm creating this ceremony. Truthfully, it's not that I'm creating this ceremony personally. Really, there's a large entourage of spirit beings that I work with, ascended masters, such as Mother Mary and Kuan Yin and White Buffalo Woman. I work with Jesus. I work with Mary Magdalene, and I work with many spirit animals. And one of them is white bat. Now, I'm sure you know that there's plenty of black bats, but you might not know that there's actually white bats on Earth as well. And you can research that, you can find that. But there's a lot more black bats than there are white bats. So, what is the significance of white bat medicine and why do we need it now? So I'm going to give you some really cool information, for lack of a better word, cool. It's actually really important. It's really significant what I'm about to tell you. And it's going to help you make sense of what's going on in the world in regards to this pandemic, also known as a plandemic. So let me start from the beginning. If you go online and you research spirit animal bat, or if you even go into spiritual literature like tarot cards, you're going to find one word that really defines this medicine of bat, and that is its rebirth. It represents the consciousness, or it holds the consciousness of rebirth. Its medicine instigates rebirth in individuals, in a collective. So it's interesting. It's interesting if you think about it right now. We are going through a collective rebirth, aren't we? We are going through a rebirth right now. That's what this is about. We are an awakening people. We are moving into a golden age. We are rebirthing consciousness right now on this planet. It may not seem like that because in many ways it can appear that it's getting much worse. But as you know, through your own dark nights of the soul, sometimes it needs to get worse before it gets better. And we are indeed in a collective dark night of the soul. We are being initiated. This is a global initiation. This is a rite of passage. And all initiation, all true rites of passage are ultimately about rebirthing ourselves anew. It's inner alchemy. It's inner alchemy. It's another way of understanding rebirth. It's inner alchemy. We are moving from carbon to diamond. We're moving from carbon to diamond. We're moving from a carbon-based blueprint within ourselves to a diamond, to the diamond light that we are, our diamond light body. So mainstream media is now finally admitting, reluctantly I'd say, they have been for a while, they're admitting that the COVID virus might possibly have been created from bat through gain of function research. Now, what does gain of function research mean? It means that we increase the virulency, I think I pronounced that right, of the virus. What that means is that we increase how potent it is, the virus and how we increase its capacity to, its transmissibility, how easily it transmits. So its potency and its transmissibility. So thus its gain of function. That's its gain of function. So gain of function increases those two things, potency and transmissibility. So we have a potent COVID virus going around. You know, it is a strong virus, and in many ways it does need to be taken seriously, and yet it's also overhyped. It's also overhyped. The numbers have been purposely skewed to get people to be afraid and to take the so-called solution. So we know that. We know that. So here's the thing. Unbeknownst to the dark forces who created the COVID virus, unbeknownst to them, to the dark forces who created this virus and had this planned in the works for a long time, the same thing that they created the virus from is the same thing that catalyzes rebirth. The same thing that they created the virus from is the same thing that catalyzes rebirth. They used the consciousness of rebirth in a way to stop our rebirth because they've known we are moving into an age of light. So one of the reasons why they're creating this pandemic is because they want to stop us from moving into the age of light. They don't want us to awaken. They want us to stay numb and dumb so that we keep the vibration low on this planet so they can stick around and keep doing their parasitic work and all the stuff they're doing with children. So, let me say this again, because it's very fascinating. Okay, so they're trying to stop a rebirth, but they're trying to stop it with the consciousness of rebirth. Now, black bat, which was used, has been tainted, obviously. It's not pure because it was created from a nefarious intention. It wasn't created from the heart, right? Medicine is truly sacred and shared when it's created, cultivated, formulated, disseminated from the heart, within the heart, okay? So without the heart there, it's not, the black bat consciousness, which is within the COVID virus, is not a pure consciousness. It's not a pure frequency of rebirth. Now, having said that, rebirth is still in the collective ether. It's still in the collective ether. And so it is affecting people who have gotten COVID. It is affecting them. It is creating new perceptual avenues. It is opening them subtly to new possibilities within their consciousness because they have literally imbibed, taken in the COVID virus. In other words, they've merged with the consciousness of bat. Again, a tainted bat consciousness, but nonetheless they have taken in, they've merged with the consciousness of bat. And so this rebirthing process has been going on for a while. We can see it. It may seem like chaos, but remember, chaos is part of the rebirth process. There's a lot of pain and there's a lot of suffering. Absolutely. There's lots of death and destruction. Absolutely. But that is also part of the rebirth. So I'm not denying the level of suffering. But what I'm saying to you is that the black bat consciousness of COVID is playing a very important, subtle yet not so subtle role in our collective awakening and rebirthing process. And it is impacting our rebirth whether we have COVID or not. Because the consciousness of bat is in the collective ether. It's in the air. Whether you got COVID or not, you're feeling it. It's in the air. Name another animal another animal whose consciousness is so permeated, or circumplanetary around the world as much as bat. It is. I mean, there's amazing animal spirits like dolphin, which I talked about in the last video, and certainly whales as well, who are having a huge impact on the collective. It's just that bat certainly is right up there right now, affecting billions of people in their consciousness. Again, whether you got COVID or not. So it is affecting our perception. It is shifting us. It can't not, because we have harmonized with, we've communed with the consciousness of bat, and therefore the consciousness of rebirth. Now, I hope you're understanding me so far. This is just part one. So to summarize, just to say one more thing is really important. So the irony is, again, the dark forces don't realize this. They don't realize it. So, in other words, bat, in many ways, is working against their plan. It's working against their plan. So, we've been rebirthing ourselves through what I call a black bat template. A black bat template, and we are now ready for, collectively, we are ready for the white bat template. The white bat template is a more pure frequency. It's a higher frequency. It's a pure, higher frequency. Pure as in white. White is the symbol of pure. Just like we see with Kuan Yin, and how she's represented as the white pearl in the lotus, it's purity. So white is the energy of purity. We see that in doves. Doves, very pure spirit, hence their association with peace. So white bat is a very pure and high frequency that is here to purify and upgrade the current rebirthing process from its more toxic, painful process. We are ready for this now. We've been initiated enough in phase one, if you want to call it that, of the black bat template. We are now ready for our upgrade. We are now ready for upgrade with the help of this alchemical antidote. Alchemical antidote. That is white bat medicine. You could see, actually, for both black and white bat, another way of understanding this consciousness, whether again it's from black or white, is that it's like a global homeopathic. It's like an energy medicine. It's a global homeopathic. And if any of you have ever worked with homeopathic medicine, I have a lot. Again, it's very subtle. It works with you at a soul level, at an energetic level. And that's what these homeopathics are doing, both black and white bat. So we are ready for this alchemical antidote to purify and upgrade this rebirthing process from the black to the white template. We are ready for this now. We've suffered enough. We've suffered enough. And again, the suffering has been in many ways necessary. There's been learning. There's been purification. There's been the burning away of karma. That people have, on some level, chosen to experience through this initial phase of the rebirthing process through a black bat template. But, it's like enough is enough now. We are ready for a transmission of white bat medicine. We're ready for a transmission of white bat medicine. So I want to give you another way of understanding this using a metaphor of bike drafting. If any of you have ever watched bike racing, like the Tour de France or something like that, you'll see bike racers tail someone really closely like this. They're really close, and what they're doing is they're actually saving energy by drafting off of them. I just researched just before creating this video that they save about 27% of their energy by drafting. And then what happens, it's like they're in a slipstream, and then they go, boom, and they go ahead, and they jump ahead, okay? So it's like they get pulled, and they slingshot ahead. Now, what I invite you to understand is that the dark agenda of using the black bat template is this bike here, the front bike. And the light forces have been here, and they've been waiting for their moment with the white bat template. And now they're ready to go. In other words, they're using the light forces in their infinite wisdom, are using and working off of the current direction, the current stream that is the black bat dark force agenda. They're working with it. They're going to take that black bat consciousness and they're going to transmute it. They're going to transmute it, which means purify and upgrade it to a pure white bat frequency. And that's what this time is about right now. And what I want you to know is that I'm fortunate enough, and it's why I'm creating this ceremony, I'm able to transmit white bat medicine. I'm able to transmit it. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. It doesn't even matter if you're in the ceremony. You can receive this very holy, very sacred, shamanic transmission. You can receive it. It's a very shamanic experience. It's a very shamanic experience for me to transmit this. In the same way, a shaman doing an ayahuasca ceremony is going to call in plants that shaman has dieted on. Such as, for instance, oak or rose, if we use our North American plants. I'm able to call in white bat. That's the medicine I can call in. That's the medicine I'm going to call in for this ceremony. That's the medicine that is available for you. Now, I don't make promises. It's very important for me to do that. If I ever make promises, to me that's like, if I make a promise, that's my way of making other people think I'm a charlatan. I don't, if I make a promise, that's a surefire way of making everyone think I'm a charlatan. But I don't want you to think I'm a charlatan, so I'm not going to make any promises. I do not promise any results. But here's what I will say. If you have COVID, or if you had COVID, this medicine is designed to help transmute that, to clear that out of you. If you got COVID a year ago, this medicine is here to alchemize any residue of that toxic virus out of you. I don't promise any results, though. It's very important you know that. I don't guarantee any results. But this is what this medicine is for, in part, is to clear that out of you so that it can be transmuted, kind of like, again, carbon to diamond. You're going from black to white. It's working off of that carbon black template into a white diamond template. I'm weaving things together now a bit. So that's one thing. But the other thing is that even if you don't have COVID, it's such an incredible blessing to receive this medicine, because it's really you're merging with the consciousness of white bat, and therefore you're taking in that spirit of rebirth in you. And when you take that spirit of rebirth in you, it supports you in your own rebirthing process, because everyone right now is in an intensified rebirthing process, given what's going on in the world right now. This is a time of rebirth. No one can avoid it. To different degrees, it's going to be different for people to different degrees, but we're all in this together. So white bat medicine is designed to support your rebirth process, and specifically that means your death-birth cycle, your death-birth cycle. What do I mean by that? Well, there's no birth without death. There's no rebirth without some form of letting go, inside and out, inside and out. So inside, you might be letting go of old beliefs, such as not being worthy, not being good enough. You might be releasing old attachments to trauma. On the outer level, you might be letting go of toxic relationships or jobs that no longer fulfill you. That's the death. That's the letting go. That's the inner and outer ending. And then there's the birthing, which is moving to a higher dimension of consciousness and opening to new possibilities that are reflective of your new level of consciousness, new paths, new relationships, right? So this medicine is to support you with your inner and outer alchemy, your rebirthing process, birthing yourself anew, empowering you as well to be anchors for this sacred medicine, really anchoring this medicine on the planet and supporting to hold that frequency on the planet. And which, if enough people do it, kind of like the grid of light that I talked about in the earlier video, if enough people anchor this medicine, then what happens is we start unconsciously, people start entraining to it. Entraining, we bring that consciousness to the planet. We clean the air, so to speak. We purify the air. Because right now the air is filled with that black bat consciousness, that black bat template. So I hope this is all making sense to you. This is a lot of really cool and maybe complex information. But we are ready now. We are ready for this upgrade. It's a quantum upgrade. It's a quantum upgrade. We are ready for a new kind of rebirth, a new stage, a pure stage of rebirth facilitated by this sacred medicine of white bat that I'm really, hugely honored to transmit to you. So again, the ceremony is 3 p.m. Pacific time to 4:15 Pacific time this Saturday, May 7th. It's $77 Canadian, which is like 60 something American. And again, if you can't make it, if you're sleeping or working or traveling, you can still receive the healing and activation no matter what, and there's no less power. You don't have any decrease in the quality of the transmission if you are not on Zoom. Of course, I would love for you to be on Zoom. It's great to have you there, but that's an option if you can't make it. So, and I just want to also let you know, I got a whole bunch of other ceremonies I'm doing with Ascended Masters. I'm going to be working with Mother Mary and Green Tara next week, and I'm going to be working with other spirit animals as well. So it's really exciting times for me. Lots of different offerings, all on Zoom. And so that's it, everyone. I wanted to bring this message to you, an important one that's very dear to my heart. And feel free to share the video. Please subscribe, leave your comments, and I'll put that link in the description to the sacred ceremony. Thanks, everyone.